Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today it is time to look at another devblog for update 1.103, or New Power as it has been deemed, and this time we're having a look at the new skies in War Thunder. After having a look at the visual effects that are going to be affecting aviation in the new version of the Dagor Engine, Dagor Engine 6, it is now time to have a look at the skies, and this to me seems like one of the largest parts of it and is going to revolutionize aerialistic and also air arcade, and even maybe ground in a way, when it comes to the general characteristics of what your fighting platform is. What I mean by that is the landscape, the maps, all of this stuff seems to be being absolutely massively improved with, as you can see, these wonderful areas, mainly with clouds and stuff like that, but also areas of light. So let's go through each little thing just to get you up to date with what's going on. So in previous versions of the Dagor engine, the sky, clouds, and fog were created with separate algorithms and were not united into a system. Physically, the sky in War Thunder was quite authentic. However, to achieve a better visual resemblance with the real sky, it lacked the relationship between atmospheric phenomena. In the new version of the Dagor engine, they've managed to model a realistic atmosphere with the correct distribution of scattering of sunlight both in the sky and on the Earth's surface. They've also created new clouds of different types at different heights and significantly improved the appearance of mist and fog. That is absolutely interesting, and this shows a noon flight among cumulus and altostratus clouds in sunny weather. So you can see this is what it used to look like before, very flat, looks even kind of 2D in a way because everything is on the same plane, and then kaboosh, everything is everywhere, everything is all over the place. So definitely going to be very interesting compared to older battles. And you can see below the general landscape, but you can see how much the clouds actually get in the way. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out with ground pounders. Then we have the next area, which talks about mainly the sun and everything like that. So the scattering and absorption model of sunlight has also changed. First of all, we've improved the spectral model of light scattering, and air scattered light used to take into account Rayleigh, Rayleigh and Mie scattering, but with a simplified model. The new version uses refined spectral modeling, which more accurately reproduces the shades of the sky under different conditions. And also, the game will now have an ozone layer. God, this modeling is becoming a little bit too realistic. During the day, the sky on the planet created is blue, mainly due to the Rayleigh scattering at sunrise and sunset. The atmospheric remains blue because of the property of ozone to absorb a specific wavelength in the sunlight spectrum. Also, ozone absorption additionally paints the higher clouds in orange and pink at sunrise and sunset. So you can see once again, this is what it used to look like in the old system, and now with the new layer and everything else, the contrast has increased, which is beautiful. I'm very happy to see the differences here, and hopefully it means the light source itself is a little bit brighter, but the stuff around it is a little bit dimmer, meaning that it won't annihilate your eyes. One of the biggest issues I have in War Thunder when it comes to aerialistic is the sensitivity of my eyes to the sunlight, so hopefully with this it will be a little bit more spread out, so it will be a little bit better. And then this once again is the ozone, showing what it looks like. So this is what it is in the off position, and then in the on position you can see that blue tinge that they talked about, and also the different colors on the clouds, making it a little bit more defined, and once again just increasing the contrast between the colors, making everything a little bit more defined, which is just what I really enjoy when it comes to these systems. It's something that I personally look out for when it comes to these things. It's something I try and put into the thumbnails and the screenshots that I take in War Thunder. It's nice to see I'm not going to have to do that anymore because it's already going to be put in. There's also a few other changes. So you can see here, this was one of the press release images that was used in a news article last week, and the thing talks about the changes to clouds are the most noticeable improvement. Previously, we used only one relatively thin layer of clouds, and we had to choose where to place it in every battle. Now, they're modeling tropospheric clouds at heights from hundreds of meters up to 15 kilometers and higher, and different types of clouds can be in the game at the same time. Clouds differ in morphological type. They've implemented all types of clouds except for the most exotic and rare ones: cumulus, stratus, altocumulus, stratocumulus, altostratus, oh my god, that one's a hard one. Cumulonimbus and cirrus clouds are now presented in the game, and all types of clouds can occur simultaneously in the War Thunder sky, depending on the weather setting for each battle. If it is raining below a cloud, the pillar of droplets is clearly visible from afar due to the additional scattering of light on the raindrops. Now that, I think, is the biggest thing. The fact that they've added all of the different types of clouds that we have on the Earth in War Thunder shows that this is truly becoming an incredibly realistic set of engine. And look at this, right? So you can see the cumulus clouds with and without multiple scattering. So this is what it would look like. And then with it, you can see, once again, the difference in light is basically the big one here. So you can see how it's going to look. Going to look very, very nice. And then we have probably the biggest change, in my opinion. At least the one that will affect the most stuff and looks the best. So sunlight scattered and absorbed by the clouds and atmosphere makes skies look beautiful and varied. Depending on the density of the cloud, the color of the illumination also changes in its different parts, from a light translucent white haze to a dark gray thundercloud. To illuminate the clouds, we approximate the internal multiple scattering of light from the sun and the sky inside the cloud. Each cloud actually becomes a source of light, and the structure of the cloud itself becomes visible. The eye can clearly see the inhomogeneity of each type of cloud. All clouds illuminate and shade the neighboring ones, and this is how the picture of a deep, voluminous cloud sky is formed. So instead of just having one source of light, there's going to be many sources of light, and they're all going to work off of each other. So they're basically taking what used to be a very large blocky system and breaking it into its smaller little parts and building from there into a larger system, which is always, how you should do these things. So this is with the rain. You can see the massive difference between what it looked like, with rain off and then rain on. So this, just looking at it from a visual point of view, first of all, it's going to be really hard to work out if people go into rain blocks, like what they're going to look like. Visibility is really something I'm a little bit worried about with this update. If, I'm able to take advantage of all these graphical updates with the graphics card. But it looks awesome, but at the same time, I'm going to have to be able to see things. And if it looks like this, and also with the new effects when it comes to the bombs and stuff like that, it might be quite hard to see. We'll see how it goes. Then, of course, picturesque pillars of light, or god rays, or beams of sunlight, clearly distinguishable against the shaded background of the clouds, are called crepuscular rays. This effect is automatically obtained in the Dagor Engine 6.0, and they are especially visible when flying at a height from the side of the sun in hazy weather. These effects will appear in the game due to the property of the clouds to partially transmit sunlight, casting the shadow not only on the ground in themselves, but also on the air in the entire atmosphere, showing you that, once again, taking a large system and reducing it to all of its parts. The fog and mist are now fully fledged parts of the atmosphere, so in the new version, fog is modeled with the same algorithms that create clouds and atmosphere. Due to this, the fog has become less homogeneous and scattered light correctly, which means that you get stuff like this, which will spread out the light, which is awesome, but at the same time, the nuclear sun has been a problem in War Thunder in the past, so hopefully hopefully that is something which is at least thought about. So right now, because of Dagor Engine 6, the game has its own atmosphere. The mathematical model that they use allows to simulate visually accurate effects of the sky, clouds, scattering of sunlight at any height and at every point on the planet. So you can see right here what it looks like. So this is now its own full world, in a way, that you can model in the graphics engine if you wanted to. And then they also show a few interesting things. So Mars, they've shown that they've modeled. So this is the dawn on Mars of a NASA photo, and this is it replicated in the Dagor engine. You can see how close they are when it comes to the general outlook. But the main thing to understand is they are massively revolutionizing how all of this stuff works. This is just part and parcel of what they've been doing over the last few years with a lot of graphical updates, and it seems like it's been leading up to this one. This is absolutely huge. Everything looks absolutely beautiful, and overall, I can't wait to get my hands on it. I just hope that optimization doesn't take too much of a hit with all of these things. I'm sure it'll take a little bit of a hit, but we'll have to see. And of course, there will be bugs and there will be issues, but don't worry about it. I'm sure they'll get fixed in time. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Trigger Hippie, Universe, Conte Baraka, Elove Goat, Eugens Terry, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Hans, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.